my childhood memory is a sassafras tree, if anybody has ever seen one. I grew up with this tree, and in my memory, the story is that my mother planted the tree, and it had 3 trunks. It was very small, and the story goes that she dug it out of the woods, brought it home and planted it. A sassafras tree has 3 different kind of leaves. There's the single lobe, they're green. There's one that looks like a mitten, so it has a bigger lobe and a smaller lobe, and then there's another one that has 3 fingers to it. But the best thing about this sassafras tree is the aroma. It's very intoxicating. We would just pick a very thin twig off of it and sniff it and smell it, and we'd play under this tree. And so my mom died when I was 9. My dad remarried, we moved away, and in my early 20s, I believe, I went back to the old house and drove very slowly by, and I'm trying to look in the backyard, and I don't really see that tree anymore, and so I'm driving back the other way, and I just kept peering in the back, but I didn't have the courage to get out of the car, knock on the door, and look for this tree. So in my mind, the new family cut the tree down. So I carried this terrible, sad story that the tree that my mom had planted was now gone, and why would somebody cut a tree down? It's just the story I carried with me. We had friends. It was the greatest neighborhood growing up. We all just played in the backyards. There were no fences. There were fields behind the yard. There was a pony pasture behind the fields. There were pine trees. We played hide and seek. We caught lightning bugs, we called them. So now my dad is 90. My stepmother died. And not too long ago, my father said to me, "Do you remember that sassafras tree that I planted in the backyard?" And I said, "Oh." And this was the first time he ever mentioned the tree, ever. And he never talks about my mom. And because he remarried and it was all about Nancy, my stepmother. So I said, "You planted that tree?" And he said, "Yeah, I went to the woods and dug it up and I planted that tree." And it kind of dawned on me, well, that actually makes more sense, that my father would have done that, not my mother. My mother was sick and she had MS. And when she died, she actually took her own life when I was 9. So just yesterday, I met with a friend in my hometown, Vestal, New York, who I grew up with, and she was 2 houses down. We shared our backyards and played and had picnics in the backyard, and our parents were friends. And we just drove around the neighborhood, and there was a circle, Glenwood Road to Jones Road to Cross Road and down Echo Road. And she said, "You know, we could just pull up on Echo Road and walk through the backyards. If you want to see, look in our backyards and really see if that tree is still there." So we did that just yesterday. This happened. So we park on Echo Road and we start walking through the backyards uninvited. Didn't knock on any doors. I figured, well, nowadays people are just working anyway. But I did see cars and driveways, and so we're walking through the grass, and it was very squishy because they have had a lot of rain down there in the Binghamton area of New York. In Pennsylvania here too, I believe. And we get to my backyard, and there's this huge tree with the 3 trunks, and it's still there. And I took pictures, and it's so tall I couldn't reach the branches up there anymore. I really wanted to pick a branch and look at the leaves, but I took a picture, and you zoom in and you can see the 3 different kinds of lobes. And then Donna wanted to walk to her backyard, was 2 yards down, to look and see if the same wall was there. And it was just amazing. Like, a lot of things have changed, but the cement steps at her yard were still there, where we used to play Stone Teacher, if you know that game. And the old metal awning was still there. They never changed the awning. And as we were leaving, going back to Echo Road where we had parked the car, nobody stopped us or questioned why we were tromping around somebody's backyard. We saw a little boy down by the creek, just some shorts, no shirt on, with a net, walking slowly towards the creek, and Donna said, I think he came from my house. And he was going to catch a frog or a butterfly or something like we used to do. And that's my story. Thank you.
That's great.